A special thanks goes to my Patreon supporters, who are helping to make videos like this possible. Hey everybody, this is TJR. A few years ago, I saw this video on YouTube. It was entitled 4 Chords by the Aweseome. It's an intentionally funny video whose intention is to humorously expose just how many well-known popular songs use the exact same 4-chord progression. Now, in music theory terms, this chord progression is called the 1-5-6-4 progression. They even open the video with a diagram of the chord progression. This chord progression, like all chord progressions, can be adapted into any key signature. So in C major, those chords are C major, G major, A minor, and F major. In the key of E major, those chords are E major, B major, C sharp minor, and A major. Now, if your reaction is, what? Don't worry, there will not be a test at the end. I found this video to be fun and enjoyable and even an eye-opener, because even as a musician, I was not that acutely aware just how many well-known popular songs were using this chord progression. When I listen to a song, I'm just enjoying it. I'm not thinking, hey, what chord progression is in this? And I think that's how everybody, especially musicians, should listen to songs. But in the back of my mind, there is something about this video that bugs me a bit. Now, it's true that lots of songs will use the same chord progressions. And this video takes a very humorous look at that fact. But it also fails to communicate what artists and musicians do to separate their songs from all the other songs that use those same chord progressions. Notice how at the beginning of the video, Benny plays the opening of Don't Stop Believing by Journey.
Recognize this?
Yeah, that's Don't Stop Believing by Journey.
And the cast of Glee. Yeah, there's a few more songs with the same chords. Check it out.
There's a reason why Jordan, and by way of extension, everybody else watching this video, immediately recognized what song Benny was playing. And it's not because he played the chord progression. The reason why Jordan and you, the audience, immediately recognize what Benny is playing is because in addition to playing the chord progression, he also plays one of the song's many signature riffs. And during the opening of Don't Stop Believing, that signature riff is the bass line that walks underneath the chord progression. Imagine for a moment if Benny had just simply played this. That's Don't Stop Believing played without its signature bass line riff. The difference is this. Versus this. If Benny doesn't inform you, hey gang, this is Don't Stop Believing by Journey that I'm playing, you are more than likely not going to recognize what song he's playing unless he includes that signature riff that I just mentioned. Being a good musician, Benny knows this, and he knows that it's necessary that he play it in order to make the video's point. Now I want to pause and state that every song has its own signature riff or riffs to one degree or another. But Benny only plays the signature riff to Don't Stop Believing. He abandons the signature riffs for every single song performed afterwards, playing each song in exactly the same key signature, using the exact same phrasing that was used in Don't Stop Believing. And until a break in the middle section of the video, he also maintains the exact same tempo. Someone with no musical education will watch this video and think, oh my gosh, these pop stars have been pulling the wool over our eyes for decades. All they're doing is singing different lyrics over the same chord progression. But that's not entirely true. I'm going to play 2 songs that use the same chord progression in the same manner that is demonstrated in the music video 4 Chords by the Aweseome. Twist and Shout by the Isley Brothers as popularized by the Beatles, and La Bamba, a Mexican folk song popularized by Richie Valens. Both respective versions of these songs use what is called a 1-4-5 progression, which is a very common progression used in popular music and especially in rock and roll songs from the 1950s. I'm going to play both these songs in the key of E major, which means I'll be using an E major chord, an A major chord, and a B major chord. I'm going to use the exact same guitar phrasing for each song. Like that. And so I'll start with Twist and Shout. Well, shake it up, baby, now. Twist and shout. Come on, come on, come on, come on, baby, now. Come on and work it on out. Now I'll play La Bamba with the same exact phrasing. Para bailar la bamba, para bailar la bamba, se necesita una poco de gracia, una poco de gracia. Spanish is a language that I do not speak, so my apologies if I butchered that at all. Now what you just saw with that short little demonstration is exactly what the Axis of Awesome did in their video with every single song they played. They used the exact same chords in the exact same key using the exact same phrasing. And that's one of the key things is the phrasing. I played each version of the song I played here like this. The problem is that neither of the two songs I just played are played the way that I just played them. Neither are all the songs in the Axis of Awesome's video played the way that they played them. They use the exact same chord phrasings to make a point about how these songs use the same chords. Once you start changing the phrasing up, though, the songs and how you play them become quite different. La Bamba is a song that has been interpreted and reinterpreted by many people well before Ritchie Valens popularized it. And if you listen to his recording, it does use the 1-4-5 chord progression that I played, but it is not in the key of E, it's actually in the key of C. It uses C, F, and G. But also, he doesn't play it like I just played it, which would be if I even transposed it to the key he has, and it would be like this. Instead, he plays it like this. The devil is in the details. There's this little walk he does. That is, in effect, his signature riff. It's how he has personalized the song on guitar. Now, Twist and Shout, as performed by the Beatles, is in the key of D, and it uses the chords D, G, and a seventh, actually. And John Lennon will actually add a voicing there with his pinky finger to that A7 chord. And in the Beatles version, you have George Harrison playing one part and John Lennon playing a second part. So there's two things going on. George Harrison will be playing a little walk. George Harrison might occasionally hit some of the other higher notes here and there. I'm not going to analyze it that closely, but mostly he's just staying with the deeper bass notes to create this sound. Whereas John Lennon now, on the other hand, is playing the D chord in this position here where it rings out more full and more bright, and he's doing this. Now once again, this is the same 1-4-5 chord progression, but it's how it's being voiced. It's in different keys, And the A chord is substituted with the A7th chord with this voicing. By the way, if you were to try to play both these parts together, you'd have to make some slight little adjustments to how you play. It would be something like this. You have to leave this voicing early to get to your hands over to the... Now, when I played Twist and Shout at gigs, I played it a lot slower, a lot more blues sounding, and I did it in the key of E because it suited my voice better. But I would call out to George Harrison's guitar solo as kind of a call out to their version by playing this part. Like so. I would just transpose that solo into the key of E so that it matched my version. I also want to add that when I use terms like signature riff, there are all different types of nuance and subtle ways that musicians and artists will put their signature on the song. In La Bamba, there are a lot of other elements that are signature elements beyond just the little guitar riff that I showed you by Ritchie Valens. There's his guitar solo in the centerpiece of the song. There is the percussion instruments that are used in that recording. All these things add to the artist's signature. In Twist and Shout, it's the way that the Beatles harmonize their vocals. There's that whole that ascending vocal line that you hear twice in the song and when you hear it at the ending too. All of these little elements add to what I refer to as signature riffs or musical signatures. In Don't Stop Believing by Journey, there are other signature elements beyond that bass line that walks underneath the piano. There's also Neil Sean's guitar break that you hear in the middle. Even though certain songs might use the same chord progressions, it's all these little subtle elements that separate the song from all the other songs that use those same chord progressions. I should also mention that the song, Don't Stop Believing by Journey, while it does use this chord progression, it also does variations within the song itself too. The first section of the song actually follows the chord progression. But then, the second time through, it makes a change. It substitutes the 6th chord, the C sharp minor, for a 3 chord, which is G sharp minor. So the second half goes like this. I'm sure that if I took the time, I would probably find that a lot of the songs used in the video, 4 Chords by Aweseome, have chord variations. And also, along with having that chord progression and having maybe variations within the song, there are probably other parts of the song, say perhaps a bridge or a pre-chorus, where it goes into a completely different chord progression as well. A really good creative songwriter, composer will use well-known and established chord changes, but will also find different variations that they can put into it and combine it with other different chord progressions so that their song will be set apart from everything else. All these things help to change and sculpt a song so that it is uniquely different. One of the examples used in the video 4 Chords is the song Let It Be by the Beatles. But once again, they're playing that song in the same key and at the same tempo and with the same chord phrasings as they do all the other songs in that video. So in their video, Let It Be sounds like this. When I find myself in times of trouble, Mother Mary comes to me. And then they stop, because after that, of course, the song changes. The chords in the song actually change. It doesn't play that same 4 chords over and over again. And I think that's something that a lot of people will get from this video, is that if you know these 4 chords, you know all these songs. More than likely, you don't. Also, Let It Be is actually played like this. In closing, I want to state that I don't want anyone watching right now to think that I am in any way, even remotely implying that the Axis of Aweseome was trying to be deceptive to the general public. All the Axis of Aweseome did was make a very entertaining and enjoyable video. But in order to make this video, they had to strip away all the nuance and simplify the songs they used down to their bare bones minimum. It made for an enjoyable and funny video, but they had to dumb down the songs they satirized to make a comedic point. I get it, but it doesn't give the whole picture, and that's why I decided to make this video. Let me know what you think, and let me know if there are any aspects of this topic that you feel I may have missed, and perhaps I will be able to elaborate on them in a future video. Thanks everybody for watching. Take care. Bye-bye. Hi, this is TJR. If you like this video, please be sure to click like, click subscribe, and also click the bell notifications icon so you can know when I release new videos. And if you'd like to help me make more videos, please go to my Patreon page at patreon.com/TJRTheOriginal and make a monthly pledge. Pledging as little as the cost of 1 cup of coffee a month can make a huge difference. Patreon supporters get access to exclusive early content, and it's also the best way to suggest a video topic. And even if you can't become a patron supporter at this time, I still want to say thank you for watching the video, and I look forward to checking out your comments.